It was a successful business trip. Check, check, check. 10 games, 7-3 record for the Phillies as they leave Anaheim, leave LA, return back home, and get a day off. Much needed day off because the Phillies have had 25 games in the last 26 days. Today they get a day off for resuming their 6-game homestand, starting with the Giants series tomorrow. Welcome to PHLY Phillies podcast. We've got Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, myself, Renee Washington, and in the chat, as always, joining us. Nice to have you guys here. Chris Slemmer, Ray, Darth Pooh, Dave P. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. Slam first in the chat. I feel like a good sunny victory day. Like today feels like a day where we don't have much to stress over besides the fact that the Sixers play game 6 today. But some people like myself and Jamie and Tyler are not stressing over that at all. But for the most part right now, it's a good day.
Yeah. Off
good
day.
Start to the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sixers are definitely on my brain. I can't deny that. But it's a Phillies off day. Things are great. You just had an awesome road trip. We're going to do a down on the farm roundup today. The Phillies prospects in minor league systems are, dare I say, thriving.
I know they are.
So that's really exciting as the underbelly of the Phillies excelling. You know, I just saw Zach Berman out there and he's like, yeah, I guess when you have 21 wins already, you know, things are pretty good. And I was like, yeah, they're actually great. You know, like this Phillies team is, better than last year's.
Yep.
And better than the year before that. And those two teams should have gone to both NLCSs, should have gone to both World Series. But, this team's better.
They are. And this team is off to their best start, as we keep talking about, since 2011. They have now 10 games over 500. It's been exciting to see the individual performances, the team success. That's been great. And they also have been just electric. Tyler, stop. I could not.
And the next day. And the next day.
And the year before that. And the year before that.
Yes, Jamie, that's a SpongeBob reference.
And yes, it absolutely was a SpongeBob reference. I'm wearing my SpongeBob fit today. But also, in addition to talking about the prospects and, being able to highlight some strong performances that we've been seeing with the Threshers, with the Iron Pigs, also, we'll take a look around the league because this is a good day for us to have a chance to take a step back, look around Major League Baseball and talk through some of the streaks that are going on around the league, some of the records that are being made, some of the massive L's, Mets. So we'll get into all that. But before we do that, Jamie, since today's a light day with no game and no guests, you know what that means?
Animal noises?
Well, not animal noises. No game, no guest. It's time to spin that wheel. Let's see what we've got, Tyler. I'm just doing the spin.
Woo! Wow, fancy little beat
like the
there.
Jingle? You like that? All right, it's time for the challenge. And this is
we were so close to nothing normal show. It teetered on the brink of just a regular everyday show. And here we are.
I have a feeling me and you are going to be the contestants, Tyler. So
no, this is something that we're going to have to do collectively, myself included.
Oh, all right.
Oh, this is a good one. Oh, but I'm failing already. Let me get that one out the... All right, today's challenge is we can't laugh, which is actually more challenging for me than you two, but it's a competition. Every time you laugh, you get a point, and points are not good, golf style. Every point is a bad thing. So I'm moving. Oh, no.
Every point is a bad thing. Okay.
We can't laugh.
Well, you're going to lose.
John Lemmerman said, I know what I like. I'm the Steve Jobs with the same outfit every day. Yeah, I pretty much wear golf shirts and T-shirts and either shorts or pants. And flops.
Okay. Whew. All right, so the game is starting now.
All right.
You're going to get cooked in this game. You did this to yourself.
I don't know why I picked this. I don't know why I put this in there. Okay, so we can't laugh. Nobody can laugh. All right. I can do this. An hour of not laughing. Wow. Funny story for you guys, real quick. Just for some context. I have always been like this. I was born this way. And my parents used to tickle me to make me laugh myself to sleep. So like my laughing ways.
Laughing is exhausting. It's like every muscle in your body, like
it is.
When
and
you're
I have
tickled.
like a really bad, like my laugh box, SpongeBob style, is really, really bad. Okay, so yeah, good luck. You guys should play with us though, Lisa. You're saying you're gonna laugh plenty watching us not laugh. You guys should play with us. I will keep score. And it's 11:06, so now we will officially start. None of my previous laughs counted. All right, so that being said, let's talk through some quick Phillies stuff before we look around the league and look at the prospects. Now, 21-11, 10 games over 500. Beautiful, beautiful thing to see. The Phillies have continued to be on a tear. We know that the starting pitchers and the pitching staff in general has been phenomenal. And another person that's been phenomenal, Alec Bohm. Some things that I just wanted to highlight that I didn't get to hit on yesterday. Going into yesterday's game, Alec Bohm continued to be top of the league in a number of categories, as we've talked about. He was slashing, and I don't have the updated as of today, which I probably lazily should have grabbed, but 366, 438, 598, and sitting in across the league, lowest strikeout rate, highest walk rate, lowest swinging strike rate. He's improved in so many areas, including cutting his chase rate down significantly by about 10% from the last season to this season. And he has been really doing a good job, and as he's talked about, of just being more selective within the strike zone, not feeling like he has to swing at pitches. And not letting pitchers bait him into swinging, but picking and choosing, being selective. He's always been a great hitter. He's always been a good contact hitter, but really now it's been more mature and aware of that. And yes, the updated stats, thank you, Tyler, is now 362, 432, 586 for Alec Bohm after last
What's that
night.
OPS plus,
with a
Tyler?
1.018 OPS.
190.
Woo!
Wowza.
That is a man possessed right
For
now.
reference, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know OPS plus, 100 is about league average.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what it's based on, the 100
He's
scale.
almost double league average right now,
that's
which
wild.
which is insane.
That's insane. And also the league average for chase rate is around 27%. And Alec Bohm is now around 20% in chase rate. He's also chasing, fewer than the majority of the league. So it's great to be able to see that Alec is improving in so many areas. We've seen it translate into RBIs. We've seen it translate into his ability to be great with runners in scoring position and his at-bats, and also his third base play. But when you break down the numbers of how he's improved, his swing rate, his strike rate, his chase rate, Alec Bohm is really morphing into what you thought he was going to be when you drafted him. He didn't have that stuff in the minors. He struggled to really consistently bring it. And even the last couple seasons, we've seen the ups and downs of Alec Bohm. But it's great to see this year, it's like everything's clicking and coming together. And he's a big reason why the Phillies are 10 games over 500 right now.
Yeah, I mean, with Bryce Harper, pretty much locked in the 3-hole. I kind of always hated JT in the 4-hole. He's a fine hitter, but you kind of, and if you're not going to play Schwarber down there, you kind of needed somebody to emerge as your 4-hole hitter. And Alec Bohm doesn't have traditional 4-hole power numbers, but if he's hitting doubles at this rate with an OPS plus of 190, it doesn't matter. So he's kind of, emerged here as the team's 4-hole hitter, and they needed that. I mean, we can't kid ourselves. I don't know if either of you guys were okay with JT in the 4-hole. I was not. I think he's a perfect 5-hole hitter. Alec Bohm, hats off, because you stepped into a major role that this team needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, JT has, to me, always just been the definition of that all reliable in terms of his at-bats, especially. But obviously, we know what he brings as a catcher. But I think his at-bats were just very steady. Every once in a while you're going to get a home run from him. He's going to be a guy that's going to give you some good contact. But he's not someone that's going to win. I feel like you're not going to win or lose games typically behind JT. He's someone we don't even talk about as often unless he's doing something really good. Whereas I think Alec has solidified that, batting after Bryce allows him to literally put the team on his back. And the reason why all 10 games on this road trip were the team to score first. That's Alec Bohm. He steps up. You've got Kyle, Trey, or Bryce on base. He's delivering. He's getting you RBIs. he's allowing you to get on the scoreboard first. So yeah, I do like the move there. I think it's a great addition.
Tyler, did you are you comfortable with JT as a 4-hole hitter, or are you good with Bohm?
At the beginning of the year, my thought was to put Real Muto as the 4-hole hitter because of the fact that I wasn't comfortable with anybody else there. It really was a matter of
I wasn't at the start of the year either with Bohm.
It was a matter of like the best of options that really didn't exist because you knew Schwarber was your leadoff hitter. You knew Trey Turner was hitting 2. You knew Bryce Harper was hitting 3. So out of your other 6 hitters, who was your most viable cleanup spot hitter? It wasn't Stott. It wasn't Marsh. It wasn't Rojas. Those 3 are out right away. It really is not Castellanos. Even when he's hitting well, it's not Castellanos. So that left you with JT and with Alec Bohm. And to me, the immediate answer was JT Realmuto because of the fact that the doubles are there, 25 doubles or more each of the last 3 seasons. The average is solid. He doesn't strike out a ton. The strikeout numbers have risen a little bit. Like last year, 138 was his career high, but he didn't strike out a ton. He made more sense to me at the time. Now, with how good Alec Bohm is hitting, he has absolutely cemented himself as the 4, which allows everybody to slot themselves down one spot, which is probably where they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the biggest thing.
Like, thank God Castellanos, we don't have to be like, oh my God, get him in the 4 or 5. You know what I mean?
I know.
It allowed everybody to naturally fall into where they should be.
It does. And so I know, Ray, you're mentioning for catchers, and this is the point that I feel about JT. You know, as long as they're catching well, all they have to do is give you some good at bats, and that's what we're fine with. And I agree. Chooch was that way. JT is that way. And even seeing JT making those improvements, we talked about the biomechanics that you're bringing up, John Lemmerman. We've seen the slight improvements for him, but for Alex specifically, he thrives with being able to just find the gaps to knock the ball into, and he's just giving you good contact. He's not to have 30 RBIs, and I guess it's 4 home runs that he's at right now, and be someone that is just finding pockets to hit the ball into to allow the Phillies to score. That's exactly all you need from him. You don't even need him coming up and hitting these 421-foot bombs, which would be nice too, don't get me wrong. But it is great to see just the steadiness and consistency, and that's one of the biggest things I wanted to hit on even after yesterday of like, wow, Alec Bohm really has been the sleeper in a way. We came into this season talking so much about obviously Kyle at leadoff and, you know, Bryce, a full season of Bryce at first base and what it's going to mean to have a full season without, you know, starting from the jump with everybody healthy, without the World Baseball Classic, all these things. But I feel like, to me, Alec Bohm has definitely surprised me and caught me off guard because he wasn't someone that we were actively even expecting to deliver. And he's done that and more. Anything else Phillies-wise? I know there was a lot we had talked about yesterday in our post-game show, Jamie, regarding just how well they've been.
When you're on for 5 hours, you happen to talk a lot of Phillies stuff, so... We were on a long time yesterday.
I think these count as laughs.
Huh?
You did just laugh. It's true.
I did laugh.
Yeah.
Like, what constitutes a laugh?
But does it have to be like a hearty belly chuckle? Or can it be like
chortle?
Can it be like a smile, like a wry smile? Does that count? Like what's the baseline here?
I'm gonna look up a laugh.
A laugh?
Are you just gonna Google laugh?
I mean, ha is a laugh.
It's a laugh.
Everybody laughs differently. I don't think there's any baseline.
If I talk to you and you see me like cheesing a little bit, does that count?
I mean, there's laughs where you use like...
it's got to be a cheese with like movement. Like you can't just be smiling is not a laugh. It's got to be, there's sounds and movements is what Google is saying. Sounds and movements of the face and body that are expressions of lively amusement. The definition of laughing is
hands and body. The hands get it brought into the definition of a laugh. What's going on?
All right. So anyway,
what the fuck is happening here? What are we talking about?
Is this what happens when you're on the air for 18 hours yesterday? Renee, welcome to what we did in sports talk radio for 500 years. 4 hours a day, every day.
I don't know why the definition of a laugh makes me want to laugh, and I was trying to find
Why
it.
are hands brought into laughing? I
Stop
can laugh
talking
without
about
hands.
laughing. I regret asking the question. That was a laugh. That's 2 laughs.
I've laughed a couple times. My hands don't have to be involved for it to be a laugh.
Jamie's got to be wacky waving, inflatable arm flailing tube man to laugh.
Yeah.
Jamie's losing.
Oh,
My pride.
Did you guys do mescaline without me this morning?
Tyler, that's a laugh. You guys, ha ha ha.
All right.
Jamie, you're up to 3 right now. I'm gonna give myself 2.
I think even more than 3.
You know, I also don't know like what's the individual. Like you laughed, you spoke, you laughed again. Is that 2 different laughs?
I think you're looking way too much into this.
I'm competitive, guys. You know this.
There's no baseline for laughs. Every laugh is beautiful, Renee.
I don't judge laughs.
Because
All
there's
right.
like a snicker, which is kind
That's
of a
what I mean.
laugh.
Like if you do like a
Not Brian Snicker, huh?
like, I feel like a snicker could be a laugh.
Yeah, like, I think like a nose, you know. What is the chat saying? Because
You gotta look like Kermit screaming when you laugh. Stop.
that's according to the definition of laugh. What a laugh is.
The goal is that we can't laugh, and whoever laughs gets a point. And Jamie's losing right now, which I'm happy about because I just like to beat Jamie. And I'm
So you're gonna hold in your laughs for the rest of the show?
I'm trying. I can do this.
Well, it doesn't
can
help
do
when I
this.
laugh when I make you laugh, because
Right, your laugh is literally making me
defeating the
laugh.
purpose.
Laughs are contagious.
All right.
But it actually makes me feel better every time you laugh because then I can get one quick laugh in.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's how that works.
Yeah.
All right. Serious again, no laughing. So the scoreboard is Tyler's got 1. Tyler doesn't laugh often. So the fact that we got 1 laugh. Oh, I feel like that was a laugh.
That was a laugh.
I'm
It
gonna
was
give
a
you
head.
2.
That was a head palm in the in the hand laugh,
right.
but it's a laugh.
Okay.
All right.
Darth said I'm constantly laughing and not giving myself points.
I think that's
I
actually
genuinely
true.
think you guys have you guys ever seen the post? It's a picture of a guy with it's like
I
the
have 4 points.
it's like the boomer selfie where it's like up close on his face and he's just got this stoic look on his face and somebody comments and goes, "How about a smile?" And the guy responds with, "Ain't nothing to smile about in this world." I think you guys genuinely think that's me sometimes. Like I'm just this miserable human being.
You look like a 5-year-old. See, that's the same laugh, so that's not 2 for me. That's just 1. I just had to bring you down to my level.
All right, this is not fair. Yeah, there's some serious question going on about you and your fits lately. You run a lot of blue. You're very much into the blues lately. Are you feeling
Again,
blue?
this was hanging up inside my closet, as were the pants, and I just grabbed. The undershirt I never give much thought to, and I have to wear an undershirt, Renee, because my nipples will be protruding to the YouTube audience if I don't. The undershirt is for nipple control because it could be 94 degrees outside.
That's cheating.
And my nips would be blasting. Like I'm always. So I have to go undershirt. So that's how we got there.
Okay. I regret asking. All right. Well, great. This sucks. Oh, something that we didn't talk about yesterday, and now we are tied up, Jamie. The scoreboard's going. It's like ding, ding,
How
ding,
are you
ding,
keeping
ding.
score of this?
Every time we laugh, I have a scoreboard. Like you just laughed.
Mopar just gave me the mouth wide open emoji.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe that's the blushing. I can't really see. I just learned you can search emojis yesterday. You opened up a whole new world for me.
I know, guys.
Yeah.
If when you are posting something on your computer, you can actually, with the emoji image on like Twitter, you can search for emojis. So
I'm not using nipple tape, John. And Mopar, what the hell? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I'm excited by life. My nips are always blasting, so I gotta go undershirt.
All right. Moving on.
Tyler knows about my trauma.
So there's some other things we didn't talk about yesterday. I know Tyler's got some, but one is Whit Merrifield. He's been quietly also progressing. I know he was slumping a little bit, and for Whit especially, dealing with the fact that he, as we found out, was not able to see his newborn baby. Him and his wife had their first child, baby girl Seeger, and he was unable to be
that's
home.
A pretty name.
It is very pretty. He was unable to be home with baby Seeger and his wife, and so he's been slumping a little bit. he's talked about how that got to him. He did also change his walkout song. So he's only had 1 home run, 2 RBIs in the season. He's got a 239 average, 634 OPS. But also in the last stretch of games, he has been steadily progressing. 8 for 18 in his last 5 starts, 2 doubles, of course, that home run, and did yesterday have a double walk and was 2 for 3 and also helped score. Saw him get a run. So Whit Merrifield's another one that's steadily, quietly being able to help contribute. And we had already talked a lot about the struggles of yesterday, and which is funny because today's struggles are nowhere near what yesterday's struggles were. But Zach Wheeler, the official breakdown, 27 pitches, 22 pitches, 25 pitches in his first 3 innings. Also did have tough time just getting out of the inning. So 7 of 15 Angels that he faced saw 6+ pitches yesterday. Listen, we know there were some struggles pitching wise, but it's not too bad, not too shabby when that's a 5-inning game of 100+ pitches, 7 strikeouts I think he finished with, is considered a bad day. But Tyler, you've got some other nuggies that we didn't hit on yesterday.
So we've seen this guy a couple of times, and obviously we've seen him in Philly throughout his career. Watching Luis Garcia pitch the last couple of nights and over the course of his career, he's a really odd pitcher to me because he has really good stuff. When the splitter's on, it's filthy. The breaking balls are good, and he throws in the upper 90s with his fastball. And you watch the stuff, and I think at times it's pretty easy to understand, like, when his command is off, he's not very good. But so far this season for the Angels, he's thrown 13 innings. He has struck out 15. He's only walked 3. His strikeouts per 9 is above 10. His strikeouts per walk is at a career high of 5. His hits per 9 are at a career low or a second career low. His home runs per 9 are under 1, which is exactly where you need to be as a reliever. And his walks per 9 are down to 2.1, which, again, is a career low.
Wow.
So explain to me, after everything I just mentioned to you guys, Luis Garcia has a 5.54 ERA. So I watched this guy.
Baseball's weird.
I watched this guy pitch, and I liked him when he was a Philly. I know that he had some bad years, like 2014, he made 13 appearances. He had a 6 ERA. 2016, he had a 6 ERA. But the following year, he followed it up with a 2.6 ERA across 60 appearances in 71 innings. This guy's got really, really good stuff. He's just never been able to put it together, and the command, I think, has always been slightly an issue for him. I don't know about you guys. I would be interested at the trade deadline on taking a low-price flyer on a pitcher like Luis Garcia to bolster your bullpen. As a back end, not the only move. Believe me, if you're going to make another move, you need to make a bigger move.
Sure.
But as a low price, low leverage type of reliever, the stuff is clearly there. I know that the ERA is high. I might consider making a phone call in July if the Angels continue to stink and asking what they're looking for a guy like Luis Garcia.
Yeah. I mean, you do need to have the ability to bring in, around the trade deadline before, obviously, some guys that can help bolster the roster a bit. And especially with where the Angels are right now, when it's game time, they don't really know who to depend on because they're dealing with some issues. And the biggest one as of late, Mike Trout's injury. But we know who to depend on when it's game time, guys. That's the Game Time app. You can download the Game Time app today and be able to access some great low prices that they've got. Over at the Game Time app, they do a tremendous job of providing you insight on where your seat is going to be. So as you're scrolling through the app and you're looking at different ticket prices, you also get to see where your seat is located. You get to have a chance to get right to the door and have your tickets on your phone. They make it convenient for you where you can now have your tickets to scan to easily be able to get in. And they just make it convenient that any game, concert, comedy show you may be going to, you can use the Game Time app to be able to buy tickets. NBA playoff tickets, Sixers tickets. I know my parents are going tonight, and there are a lot of people that have been buying tickets to go see them for Game 6 against the Knicks. The Game Time app is the place to be able to go, get those low prices, get those good seats, get a view of your seats, and then be able to have fun. And when you use the code PHLY, you're also able to get $20 off of your purchase on the Game Time app. So make sure that you take some time to download it, browse through, and also, most importantly, take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Major League Baseball tickets, for example. Take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. So download the Game Time app, get those last-minute tickets, and get the lowest price guaranteed.
Yeah, and if you're in the market right now, the housing market that is, we got to tell you about our friends over at Mortgage CS. It stands for the Mortgage Concierge Service. And I actually just sent my sister to them because she's gearing up for the springtime, summertime, housing market, games. And if you've ever been through the mortgage process and house hunting, it can be overwhelming. You can get anxiety from it. You need to dig up everything. And even if you're not thinking about buying a house like in a month or two, maybe it's 6 or 8 months from now. Maybe it's next year. Maybe you have plans on buying over the winter. It's always good to talk to Alec and Ben over at Mortgage CS to start getting your ducks in a row. And, maybe they can catch some things that can help you maybe save a couple bucks down the line. You got to make sure your credit report is tight. You got to make sure all your stuff is ready. And then when the time actually comes, you want to be pre-approved and ready to pounce. And the best part about Mortgage CS, aside from the white glove service that you're going to get, is they're going to educate and empower you during this process because it's a lot. I've been through it 2 or 3 times now, and each time it sucks. And to have people on your side that will teach you teach a man to fish, right? They're going to teach you about the process so you don't feel overwhelmed. They're licensed all over: California, Colorado, DC, Delaware, Florida, Maryland, New Jersey, Maine, PA, Virginia, South Carolina. So reach out and talk to Alec and Ben. They're available 24/7, which is another part of the process. Sometimes you need somebody at the snap of a finger, and Alec and Ben will be there for you. So when you think of the word mortgage, think of Mortgage CS. Think of Ben and Alec. Save Ben's cell phone number. It's right there. Even if you want to text him about the Sixers game tonight, 267-391-7425. You can email Ben at mortgagecs.com. Call, text Ben any time of the day or night, even if you just want a friend to talk sports with. Check out mortgagecs.com/PHLY to get started. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS ID 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com for more information.
All right. Well, as Tyler was bringing up about Luis Garcia, they're
definitely going to be adding more balance.
Some issues for the Angels because let's keep in mind with Mike Trout's torn meniscus, this is the first time the Angels don't have Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout. In the past, they at least would have one or the other if someone got injured. And I know I saw an article that I was reading about Mike Trout's injury and some questions that are now lingering around Mike Trout and his future because let's be honest, it's not great to see the amount of times that he's been injured and has had some major injuries. And the sad part is it's been all different body parts. So for Mike Trout, I know we saw the emotional presser. We saw him talking about the frustrations as he announced that he's going to be out. And you saw 2021, torn calf muscle. He played just 36 games in that season. 2022, he did play 119 games, but then he had a back injury that had him on the IL. And we saw last season the hand injury, which was just a fluke, weird pitch that hurt him and had him out and only able to play 82 games. And now here we are, May 1st, calendar changes over and Mike Trout is out again. And I got to thinking there have been so many names that we've seen in sports over the decades that have had careers that have been injury plagued or derailed by drinking or drugs, whatever it may be. The Bo Jacksons, Greg Oden, Sam Bowie, Freddie Adu, Johnny Manziel, Football Johnny. You've got Matt Bush, Mark Pryor, Mike Trout. I mean, he's now going to be 33 this August. He still has a lot of time left on his deal. He officially is probably in a place where nobody else is going to want to bring him in because he can't forget over 100 games. Like, he hasn't been able to do that. And so it leads you to wondering, what does the future really hold for him? What does this mean for the Angels? Because with that lofty deal that he's in, I know everybody in Philly at one point was like, has been, even up to this past series, Mike Trout, bring him in. But the campaign for that is definitely over when he yet again got hurt. It's kind of cinematic.
No. People will still push for it.
People
just
better
you
not.
wait.
Just you better
wait.
not.
The
That's
Mike
really ridiculous.
Trout obsession in this town.
Well, no team.
He's from Millville. Did you know that?
That's where my family's from. We're basically related. But the point is,
He's from Millville.
even if fans want him, we know there's no front office that wants him. That's more important. And so this is the time that are we seeing the end of an era in that sense?
I mean,
this is rough to
somebody
think about.
will take a chance on him again. I was just talking with Zach Berman because Zach is a huge baseball prospect guy. So I said, Zach, we're doing it down on the farm today. And I was kind of telling him about some of these kids that are just like absolutely killing it. And Justin Crawford came up. And I was like, yeah, you know, if the Phillies do make a big move, Justin Crawford might be like one of the guys they move. And Zach said, yeah, I always thought that if Mike Trout became available, you know, he's the type of guy that they would trade for him. And I was like, Zach, I understand the lore. Mike Trout is modern day Mickey Mantle when healthy. But I was like, I'm out. You know, $40 million a year for a guy you can't count on.
2030.
There's better ways to allocate $40 million worth of resources to your baseball team. And it sucks because Mike Trout is awesome. He's an awesome player. Of course, everybody would want him on your team.
He's an awesome guy.
But $40 million. And the guy's hurt now every single year, freak or not. He said he didn't even feel his meniscus.
Right.
And it was probably the play at the plate the other night where Garrett Stubbs' throwing error occurred. No, I'm out. And I understand the obsession, but in my opinion, it needs to stop. I just think it's irrational at this point.
It's a shame because he was off to a good start. Tied for the league lead with 10 home runs. He was hitting a home run once every 10.9 at bats with a 325 OBP, and he had only reached that 10.9 at bats, homer per every 10.9 at bats, once in his career. And so and that was back in 2019. You saw him with 6 stolen bases, which is more than he had combined from 2020 to 2023. We saw him really on pace for what looked like it could have been like a 30-30 season, at least. And then you saw him get hurt. And again, much like last year with the pitch, you know, messing him up, this time it's another fluky injury that you're like, when did that even happen? What even happened? So Mike Trout is injury prone, injury plagued, whatever you want to say. And so it is, in my opinion, what makes it sad, the most sad is it does feel like this is it. Like every season you've kind of been saying, well, maybe if he can just be healthy, maybe if they can just do this, this, and this. But
I don't even know if he wants out of Anaheim, to be honest with you.
I don't know if he does either. He's claimed he does not. I don't know how true that is.
We've seen him in the playoffs
that
once. Like, come on. Like, if he wanted out, he would get out.
Right.
I can't even say strongly that I feel like he wants out of there. I mean, look, I don't want to say he doesn't care about winning because I think, you know, all athletes do. But if I have a cliffside Orange County mansion overlooking the water and I'm making $40 million a year, I go, this is a pretty damn nice place to raise a family, huh?
Yeah.
You know, so like, I don't know if he wants out. It's pretty awesome out there.
Yeah.
You know?
And I imagine at this point, Mike might really just want to be healthy. And just
he was crying in his media
think,
scrum. My heart kind of broke for him a little bit.
To be honest, I feel like it does get to a point where your priorities change. And although everybody's wanting a championship, that's why you play sports, I do feel like at this point, he's probably just feeling like, I just want a healthy season. I just want to be able to play the game that I love for a full season without having to have a surgery. His meniscus surgery is supposed to allow him, timeline-wise, to be able to get back at the end of the season. But yet again, another season where you're missing out on the majority of the bulk of the year. And the Angels are definitely below 500 right now. Without him, how much more are they going to be able to do? So it's not even a situation like the Sixers had with Joel Embiid of, well, recover, get back for the playoffs. There is no playoffs for the Angels. And so this is another year of another Mike Trout injury. It's very unfortunate. And like I mentioned, there have been so many athletes we've seen, and it's not drinking that derails them. I'm sorry. It's being an alcoholic and what that leads to. Drug addiction and definitely injuries that have plagued major athletes that have been first pick, second pick, all these high expectations out of high school and never were able to reach that. And the sad thing is Mike Trout right now is that He's at 378 home runs in his career, 1,648 hits. He's was on pace to be able to pass these major milestones, 500 home runs, 2,000 hits, this, that, and the third. And now it's wondering, like, will he actually even reach those pinnacles of his career? He's got till 2030. We'll see if he can be healthy. Hopefully the procedure goes well.
You usually don't get healthier in your
correct.
Late 30s.
33 in August, not something that makes
It's a shame. It sucks. It really, really does, because he's good for the game.
In general,
he's really good for the game, and it's unfortunate. But you know what's not unfortunate, and that's our friends over at Bet Parks. Tonight is a big one in the NBA. The Sixers currently on Bet Parks are -3 tonight. The money line is Sixers -152, being at home, and hopefully not as many Knicks fans yelling F Embiid, F Embiid. But there's always something to get in on the action with. They do some of these same game parlays for you. Right now they have listed the Knicks money line, if you believe the Knicks are going to win, over 200 total points. Kyle Lowry under 2.5 rebounds. $10 there pays $60. Another one over 200 points. Kyle Lowry under 2.5 rebounds. Kyle Lowry over 1.5 threes made. That's another plus 600. There's tons of same game parlays. You can make your own. Whatever you want to do with Bet Parks, they got something for everybody if you're looking to get some action on the game. And money is in the moments. And you can win big with all-day action. Win your first $10 bet and earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet with Bet Parks. Download the app and play along with us. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsible. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And while we're talking about responsible decisions that can help you out, how about you try Ollipop, the world's first functional soda that provides you with the ability to drink flavorful soda that is also good for your gut health. Ollipop has all the delicious flavors of soda that we enjoy. The classic grape, the root beer, the Dr. Goodwin. They've got the orange squeeze and different things like cream soda and strawberry vanilla and lemon lime. But they also, in addition to those great flavors, provide you with just 9 grams of fiber per can. They also have 2 to 5 grams of sugar per can. They give you prebiotics with each can of helping your digestive health, because 2 out of every 3 Americans are dealing with gut health issues. I was just having this conversation with my friends this past weekend, and I was like, you know what? You need some Ollipop. It'll help make sure that your gut health is in order, that everything is flowing, moving and flowing like it's supposed to be. Because 95% of Americans admit they're not getting the amount of fiber that they need. And with Ollipop, you can change that. And what makes it even better is Ollipop's easy to find. 30,000 retailers nationwide have Ollipop on their shelves. You can go to your local Wawa. You can go check them out at Wegmans, Sprouts, Target, ShopRite, GoPuff, and also online on Amazon and on drinkollipop.com. And now with one of the things that we've been trying out is mixing and matching, whether it's having some Ollipop with some ice cream. Maybe you have a root beer float. Bill Matz here loves showing off of his different recipes. We have an Ollipop recipe coming for you of different cocktails and mixed drinks. You can pair it with some tequila. You can make a nice margarita out of it. You can drink it straight. There's so many ways, so many flavors that allow you to enjoy Ollipop. So when you use that code PHLY20, you'll be able to get 20% off of your next Ollipop order. And understand that that discount does only apply to one-time orders, not to subscription orders. And again, Ollipop sold online, also sold in 30,000 retailers nationwide. With that code PHLY20, you get 20% off. All right, we've talked about just recapping some stuff with the Phillies and, of course, Mike Trout. And as you alluded to and as we touched on, it now makes you wonder, what's that next generation looking like? What's going on with the Phillies prospects? Because we've had a chance to connect with some of them ourselves, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, Sam Aldegari. We've talked with some ourselves, and it's fun to now be able to watch how the prospects are doing down on the farm. Now, most recently in their last outing, just some game updates specifically before we get into individual updates. Most recently on Wednesday night, the Iron Pigs did drop a game to the Worcester Red Sox 12-5.
Worcester.
Matt Kroon had his first homer of the year in that loss. He had a 2-run homer. Max Castillo gave up 7 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, and struck out 4 in the loss. And then down in Florida, the Clearwater Threshers did also give up a loss to the Lakeland Flying Tigers, who had a 4-run 5th inning to defeat Clearwater. In that game, Micah Ottenbright allowed 6 runs on 7 hits in 4 1/3 innings.
Not that game.
Allowed 2 walks to the loss. And then the bullpen was the big part for the Threshers, where they allowed just 1 inherited runner and prevented Lakeland from scoring after the 5th. So Brandon Beckel was one that was involved in that. Jaden Estanista, who had 2 shutout innings, was a spark as well. And Jonathan Pettit helped the shutouts of the bullpen. And then Aiden Miller continued a streak of his own. He's now gotten on base in 4 consecutive games. He's given some good at-bats for the Threshers. But looking at some names to keep an eye on most recently that have consistently been delivering, starting with George Claassen, who we've talked about on the show
The flaming
a few
pickle.
different times.
And I'm the only one that calls
His
him
pitch
that.
has been described as a cannon out of a canoe.
It just
Jordan
works,
Claassen
right?
struggled with his command. He had a major injury. Sure, it works, Jamie.
The flaming pickle,
He had
Claassen Pickles. He throws
see.
gas.
I
The
see.
flaming pickle. You get it?
I get it now.
You
I'm
wanna
picking up
laugh?
on no.
Laugh,
Claassen-
Renee. Laugh.
That's not fair.
Apparently, all I have to do is yell, Tyler.
That's not fair. So Claassen had a fastball. I will give myself a point. That is
Where's the scoreboard?
tough to
In
hit.
your head?
No, I have it on my. I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
I'm actually keeping score.
I didn't see you type anything there.
I'm reading right now, Jamie. I'm
Okay.
trying to read. Let me. I'm crying. I'm not laughing. So George Claassen against the pitchers that or the batters that he's faced. Excuse me. They're 2 for 48 with 25 strikeouts, and he's got 3 walks, and he hasn't allowed an earned run in 4 starts at low A. George Claassen has a 0 ERA and has been off to a tremendous start, a .57 WHIP, 21 innings that he's pitched. He's been doing phenomenal so far in his start because he's finally commanding the ball better. They always said he's got the stuff, but it was just very inconsistent. He was throwing all over the place. But the Phillies have altered his throw, and Matt Gell put out a piece today really talking through how George Claassen has been able to progress, and that's the Phillies worked with him to make his curveball a little slurvy. Or a little less slurvy, I'm sorry. He has more cutter action now. His curveball is more defined. It's not all over the place. And Claassen calls it a slider, but he throws it like a cut fastball, and it's a pitch that really is tough to hit. So he has been able to pitch at least 5 innings in all of his 4 starts and has absolutely been doing a better job of having the confidence, having the mechanics, but also not overthinking and getting rid of the extra movement in his pitches, which has translated to be able to have that 0 ERA.
Yeah, it's when we talked about the kid in probably December, maybe early January, when we were doing the original Down the Farm report. I think I want to say off the top of my head, he came in around 19 or 20 in our kind of consensus lassoing of all the prospects out there. You know, we talked about him playing in the Northwoods League of Minnesota. You know, whenever you get a chance to get a kid from the Northwoods League, Renee, you got to take a chance. But our general consensus was, wow, this kid's got gas. He's got stuff, but he can't throw strikes to save his life. And now, you know, probably being in the system and working with the Phillies pitching coaches, maybe it was something mechanical that they changed. Whatever it may be, he found the ability to throw strikes. And he's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, his whip is .57. So that shows you he's not walking guys. He's got command of his pitches now. 21 innings, 32 strikeouts. You know, when we talked to, was it Aiden Miller or Justin Crawford? I think it was Aiden Miller. Said, yeah, I just, you know, we were like, who's impressed you so far in camp so far? And he's like, man, I faced George Claassen the other day, and he said that's the hardest thrower I've come across yet.
Yeah.
So this kid developed the ability to throw strikes. He's going to be one of these kids next year when we do a Down on the Farm report that's probably, you know, at this rate, he's probably going to be like in that, I don't know, 9 to 14 range, possibility of cracking the top 10 if he keeps this up. It's really, really impressive. And in Matt Gelb's piece today, I think his old Minnesota college baseball coach described him. You didn't read this, did you? You did?
I don't know, Jamie.
Did you read it, Renee? Did you read the quote? Did you? Because I don't remember. And you were starting to side-eye me, and I don't want to do it.
Which quote is it, Jamie?
The cannon out of the canoe? You did? Damn it. Missed that one. But yes, like there's a lot. Another laugh. there's a lot to like about this kid. Hopefully he keeps it up.
Jamie, do you just have the Mr. Softy song in your head at all times? Like, what goes on in your head when Renee's talking?
Sometimes I'm reading when she's reading. Sometimes I'm getting my stats all lined up. Like sometimes I'm actually working. I'm not just, Homer Simpson has the two monkeys with the
symbols.
With the symbols in his head. I'm not that all the time. I missed the quote. I heard you mention Matt Gelb. I did not hear the quote. Are you laughing?
It's okay.
Is that another laugh?
Did
you mark that down?
I just continued into one long laugh, though, to knock out all the laughs.
But that quote's awesome. A cannon out of a canoe? Like, what the hell does that even mean?
Chaos.
Yeah.
Because his pitch has been, they said it was just all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, he was hitting people. It was all over the place because he also dealt with going into college. He had to get Tommy John surgery, actually.
Good. It's already out of the way.
Got that done. And then Preston Mattingly was even saying,
we'll have to get Preston on again.
Yeah, it's been too long. It's been too long since we've talked to Preston. Hi, Preston. Preston Mattingly was just saying, and actually I lost, that how he's now, what's helped him be good is he's been able to transition his wild pitches into consistent pitches that now is a massive weapon because he's getting in the zone a little bit more and not
I would
all
say
over
so
the box.
with a .57 whip.
Yeah.
That means he ain't walking people.
I've got to imagine that.
Where are you, Tyler? Where are you?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
I'm just
People
gonna
like to see a face.
I'm going to be in that spot the whole time. I've got to imagine that this kid's not long for Clearwater at this point.
I would think he's moving up to Jersey.
The Jersey Shore call-up is coming soon,
Yeah.
I would think. I mean, he's made 4 appearances so far.
21 innings.
I would imagine, so that's 5 and some change to start. So they're not short-arming this kid into an innings limit, at least so far. I would imagine that you probably get 7 or 8 from him.
He's not going into double digits.
If he pitches that well for another 3, 4, 5 starts, I have to imagine the call up to Jersey Shore is coming by.
He's expected to
He's
be
already
called
20.
up soon.
He's 22, right?
Yes. Yeah, he did pitch 2
so
years.
He's at that age now where it's time to get moving.
Yeah, I mean, he pitched 2 years at Minnesota, so 2020 and 2022 and 2023 he pitched at Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, you're probably fast tracking this kid if he continues to pitch this well. I would imagine he finishes the year in Jersey Shore, and then they give him a realistic look at potentially
At
Reading
Reading
to start next
year.
year.
That's the thing. He's surprising folks, and they are saying he should be moving up to Jersey Shore sooner than expected because the numbers that he's putting out, and even the way that he's been able to tweak his game so much so quickly has absolutely put him on pace to be in Jersey Shore.
32
so
strikeouts.
He's definitely a name
innings.
to keep an eye on. And there's our guys, Mick Abel, Justin Crawford, and Sam Aldigari. Jamie, I know you pulled some nuggies on the trio.
Yes. All right. Let's keep on this positive train because Clausen and Aldigari, pitching wise, of the guys we were kind of digging through last night, are really popping off the page at you. Sam Aldigari so far, he just actually pitched. Our sweet boy from Verona. He just pitched last night. Actually, went 6 2/3 innings with 7 Ks. Now Sam Aldigari's numbers on the year now. Very similar to George Clausen's. His ERA is .41. He's gone 22 innings, 28 strikeouts, and his whip is .59. So neither of these kids are putting people on base for free. They have strikeout stuff. Their ERA and whips are eye-poppingly good, and they're going deep into games. These two are becoming fast risers here in the Phillies farm system. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and honestly,
Mick Abel we'll get to in a minute. That's why I said positive first.
Oh boy. Honestly, for Sam, as we spoke to him down in spring training and just hearing his story, and I'm gonna stand by. I still think his story is like a movie in the making. Coming from Italy, he's making pasta for people, and he's trying to show the world that Italians can be great at baseball also, and bringing his culture and his family and baseball all together.
He is the first Italian Phillies player, I believe,
and,
right?
a nice kid, and I'm happy to hear that he's doing really well. Now Mick's not doing so well.
Mick, look, this is kind of, I don't want to say the it year for Mick Abel, but there was, belief in this offseason and some mechanical changes. Him and Griff McGarry kind of underwent some tweaks. And this was a big year for Mick Abel. There was talk that maybe he could even, if he performed well enough, help contribute to the team, either when they expand the roster.
On pace.
Yeah. Well, his numbers so far this year, not good. He also just pitched last night. Aldegari pitched in the Jersey Shore. Mick Abel, of course, up in the Lehigh Valley. His start last night, let me just pull that up before we get into his season numbers. I just had it. And this damn MILB website with the pop-up ads, Renee. Last night he went, he had, not good. Sorry. It's not changing over to game logs on me. There we go. Last night, he had a 6.23 ERA in 4 innings pitched. He gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. They hit almost 300 against him. And just last night, his whip was 1.71. Not the numbers you want to see from your top pitching prospect. On the year now, he has pitched 21 and 2/3 innings, only has the 22 strikeouts, 1.71 whip on the year, 6.23 ERA in 5 starts. Not exactly what you want to see here out of Mick Abel.
Not good at all. And it's a shame because he really has been on the doorstep. We talked about him possibly even moving up into the majors this summer if he could continue.
Yeah.
And he's dropped off, right? But he's honestly had an opportunity and did not step up to the challenge. So I know John Lumberman in the chat is also saying how he's officially out on Mick Abel. The problem with his struggles, though, is that his trade value is way depressed and makes it hard to get a good deadline value for him. That's the other thing. Right now, Mick Abel is unfortunately not pitching well. Griff McGarry is another one I know John's mentioning. I haven't seen his numbers recently, but I know last I had checked, he's been wavering a little bit up and down, inconsistent. And this is the tough part because these guys that have good stuff, they got to be able to bring that enough to show that they deserve the opportunity. And Mick has not.
No, and it's unfortunate. You know, he's a first-round pick, a high schooler out of Oregon. There was big hopes for this kid. And it's not over yet, but it's not trending in the right direction. And then Griff McGarry, you know, these were the two that we talked about outside of Andrew Painter for a long time. He's only pitched 9 2/3 innings on the year. His ERA is 5.59. WHIP is 1.34. So not great numbers from either of these two top prospects. And now we turn our attention to George Clausen and Sam Aldegari as the chosen ones. And hopefully they can, you know, take the torch and just run with it if these guys can't figure it out, which Griff McGarry is now 24. And I know he's shifted to the bullpen role and they're trying to develop him. So you got to give him some more time there. But Mick Abel, definitely, I say, room for concern.
Yeah, definitely. I know
sucks because you want the kid to work.
He was tossed out like Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. It does feel like that as of now. It sucks because, like, we know they have had really good showings at time, but then it just dropped off drastically. So we'll continue to keep an eye down on the farm on how guys are progressing. In terms of progress for us specifically, K-Red saying your chuckle did not count as a laugh. I actually, Jamie, have not been counting all the times. I didn't realize how many times you snicker. You do a lot of like a little chuckle. Yeah. Like,
yeah, I'm a chortler.
You definitely are a chortler. Apparently, I should have said no chortling or laughing. I haven't been counting it because I've been being fair. So that's why you're winning right now. Of course, actually, technically, Tyler's winning, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I don't laugh. Life's not funny.
Yeah, Tyler doesn't laugh. His laugh box has cobwebs on it. So, sorry. Yeah.
There's one. You want to touch on the quick offensive farm pieces, and then we'll wrap up down on the farm. Were you going there?
I had wrapped it.
Well,
you wanted to hit on Justin. My bad.
I wanted to hit on
the
Justin.
graphic off and everything.
Yeah, I wanted to hit on Gabriel.
It's gone forever.
Ricones Jr. and the Florida State Player of the Week, Trent Parquar.
And we're back down on the farm, Jamie. What you got for us?
Gabriel Ricones Jr. in Reading this year is killing it. He's had 50 at-bats now on the year, 15 hits, 4 home runs, 4 stolen bases, hitting 300, on base of 417, and his OPS is a 1.017. So Gabriel Rincones Jr., who I think was Justin Crawford that said he would take his power if he could steal one power from one of his teammates. So he's off to a really good start, and Justin Crawford continues to do really well. OPS you'd like to see up a little bit, but, you know, he's not a slugger per se. He's batting .268 on the year, .358 on base. OPS is .752. 71 at-bats now on the year. 2 home runs, which is kind of surprising with his launch angle, which is a really nice sign. 8 stolen bases, 8 RBIs. So Justin Crawford having a really nice start to the year, but Gabriel Rincones Jr. in Reading also having a really nice start to the year. So a couple bats doing well on top of a couple
Trent
arms doing well.
Gabriel Rincon, Justin Crawford. Okay, names to keep an eye on, guys.
Yeah,
And then, of course, Aiden Miller's doing well, too.
Lord Farquaad's a little bit old to be in single A right now. But
can you read that name without saying Lord Farquaad?
No, that's the first thing I thought of was Lord Farquaad. But he is 23, so, another guy who a little bit older in the low A. He probably is another guy that I assume gets fast-tracked to high A if he continues to hit just because of age trajectory. You're trying to push some of your older prospects, a little bit quicker through the farm system than you would somebody that was 18 or 19. But a good week for him, too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Elsewhere around the league of Major League Baseball, let's get out of the minors for a moment. That is a fun trip down on the farm. Well, as I mentioned, have to keep an eye on them. And we are taking a road trip out to Lehigh Valley, Jersey Shore. We'll make the rounds to be able to see, these guys in person. Now, around the league elsewhere, though, shifting gears, there's been some streaks. There's been some hot hitting. There's been some things going on. One streak, the Minnesota Twins. They've now won 10 straight games, and they had a 7-13 record on April 21st. At that point, they were 8 games out of division lead. They've now won 10 games in a row. They've put themselves back in the mix. This 10-0 winning streak is definitely the highest in Major League Baseball right now.
I think my boy Pablo Lopez is going against you today. Do I have him in this league?
It is also the longest streak for the Twins since 2006, but it's also one of the longest streaks across the league that we've seen of recent, definitely this season, I should say. And they're actually exactly where they were at 30 games in last season when they won the AL Central. They are on pace for having the same type of a record. Unfortunately for them, they did have an injury in Byron Buxton, who went down. Byron Buxton had been doing really well for them.
He can't stay healthy.
Another one. And so he was stealing second base and came up hobbling and announced that he is out. He left the game with right knee soreness, so not exactly sure what's happening there. But as we know, as we were just talking about Mike Trout with his knees are never good. It's always very concerning when you have somebody coming off of a everyday play of him just running to second, and you could just see him slowing down before he even got to second and hobbling and very gingerly exited the game. So hopefully Byron Buxton is okay, because he's another one that definitely has had his fair share of injuries.
Well, as we all predicted, guys, the AL Central is the only division in baseball right now with 4 teams with a winning record.
I know.
We all thought that was going to happen, right?
Of course, we all predicted that.
Of course.
Renee, thank you for bringing up the Twins hot streak, because that reminded me. I thought Pablo Lopez was starting today versus you, but he's not. But what I did catch was that Kyle Bradish is actually pitching for the Orioles today. He's been activated off of or called up from AAA after his rehab assignments. So the Orioles, who are in much needed help on the starting rotation, get Kyle Bradish back today. And I will be starting him versus you. And did you check the score this morning, by the way?
Yeah, I'm still losing.
Okay.
It's only Thursday. My team shows big on the weekends. And I actually closed the gap, though. I'm only down by 24.
Okay.
So this is La Flama Blanca. You're going down.
Mm-hmm. Just wanted to let you know I got Kyle Bradish
happy for you that you're beating me so far. Ask the guy that I played last week in the Bone Zone how that went. I was trailing all week and then won by 60. So
say the Bone Zone without laughing.
I didn't laugh the first time I said it.
Look into the camera and say Bone Zone. And
I'm not giving in to your peer pressure, JB. I'm not doing that.
Make eye contact with the good people.
No, you do it.
Bone Zone.
You didn't say the.
The Bone Zone.
How'd you do that?
Do it, Renee. Look at them and say it.
The Bone Zone. Elsewhere. Yay! Good, because I needed to come back. This is exactly how I'm going to beat you in fantasy baseball, because
the Bone Zone or
it
the
is
Bone
currently
Zone?
10-9. Bone. It is bone, as in I hurt my funny bone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bone example I've got.
The Bone Zone would be a good name, K-Red. I agree.
That would. He doesn't have bone on his team, though.
Let's get a thumbs up on the YouTube page for Bone Zone.
You're like a DJ. Let me get a thumbs up. Thank you, John Lemmerman. I did do that. I know the Oakland A's were mentioned in the chat. They
Mason
are also
Miller,
doing really
jeez.
well. They've gone 7-3 in their last 10 games, including winning the series over the Orioles. They just swept the Pirates. Ross Stripling got his first win since 2022 in that 4-0 win over the Pirates yesterday. pitching for 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. So the Oakland A's, don't sleep on them. They may have some chaos going on,
Tyler
but they're actually winning games right now.
We retweeted it from the show account, but Tyler texted us a hilarious tweet yesterday that said it was a picture of Mason Miller and the owner from the Cleveland Indians in Major League. I think it was Mason Miller, whatever. It was a picture of the A's, and it said, we've seen this movie before. A last place expected team basically catches fire. The owner's threatening to move the team, and we know how this ends. And basically the Athletics are Major League's Cleveland.
Yeah, and effectively what I sent you guys back was the opening scene where they're all sitting around the round table and they're trying to decide who's getting invites to camp.
That guy's dead.
And the one scout goes, this guy here is dead. And the owner, she goes, well, cross him off the list.
They are kind of like Major League right now.
I love that movie.
That movie is great. I need to. Vince, that works with us, says he watches it every opening day. It's been far too long since I've seen it.
What's your guys' favorite scene from that movie?
My favorite scene from that movie?
When Wild Thing first takes the mound with the dummy batters.
We wear caps and sleeves in this league, son.
Lou Brown is awesome in that. Some of the clubhouse scenes are great. I always loved Pedro Serrano and Joe Boo. You can mark down.
You think Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Yeah.
I was intentionally.
I know
We're
you
at
are.
the end of the show, and I need to rack up some points for you because I was losing.
I think
and
one of the
not. So
underrated scenes in that movie
Keep
is when
talking
they're
about your
at like
favorite
the
scenes.
snotty dinner party. Jake Taylor's
Yes.
and
Yeah,
they go,
yeah.
"What do you do, Jake?" And he goes, "Oh, I play for Cleveland." And they go, "Oh, I didn't know Cleveland still had a baseball team." He goes, "We do. We got uniforms and everything."
Yeah, that's good. And low key, I also love the Roger Dorn Jake sunroom scene at his house, where he's like, "You do that one more fucking time, and you'll be." What does he say? Like shitting your teeth out or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, great scene.
I love
And
this.
Dorn's wife like has a tray of like
This
lemonade,
is great.
and he just leaves the house. Great scene, great movie.
So great. I'm loving this. This is so fun.
Yeah, just keep adding laughs if you want.
Finally, I'm gonna win. Ha ha ha.
Well,
All right,
that's a
some
laugh.
other. But it was like a no.
No.
Are you kidding me? Dang
no.
it. No, it was like I'm not repeating
again.
I'm not doing it again
Okay.
because of the fact that you just might make me have to. It doesn't matter. We're tied up now.
Okay.
Whatever. Ellie De La Cruz continues his hot start to the season. Also, he finished April with 8 home runs and 17 stolen bases on the month. He became the first player with at least that many homers and stolen bases in a calendar month. You guessed it, since 1901, because every record always goes back to 1901, of course. So the first player with that many in a month since then. There are only 5 other players in that span that have had at least 7 home runs and 15 stolen bases. Carlos Beltran, Barry Bonds, Ricky Henderson, Joe Morgan,
Pretty
Lou
good
Brock.
company.
So he's in some great company and has continued a really great start to April. See if he continues that the rest of the season. And then lastly, two that I want to hit on before we wrap up the show. We've got for the Cleveland Guardians. They've been off to a decent start. Another team to keep an eye on. They've been one of the top teams across the league right now. They are top of the AL Central, sitting at 20-10 on the season. And the Cleveland Guardians have been doing pretty well, even with the loss of Shane Bieber to Tommy John surgery. Josh Naylor has been someone that they've been able to rely on. And so they've been able to have also an excellent pitching staff, which is posting a 3.41 ERA, which is top 6 in Major League Baseball. Their bullpen, led by Manuel Clase, of course, has been top as well. They have a 2.49 ERA on the season, which is first across Major League Baseball. So his 0.59 ERA has led their bullpen to be top in the league. And then finally, someone else that's been top with his pitching performance, Shota Imanaga. He threw his set for 7 innings yesterday, gave 3 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts for the Cubs. He is on a 6-0 start. First player since 1901 to go 4-0 with a sub-1 ERA in their first 5 career games that they've started. And also just was phenomenal with that career high 7 scoreless innings. And even said once he got to New York to face the Mets, that he recognized the view from the hotel from Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And he was like, this is where Spider-Man was. So it's great to see Shota Imanaga, who's really been fantastic. His velocity on his fastball has been good. His pitches overall have just been out of this world. And most importantly, the Cubs did beat the Mets in what was a controversial end.
Stupid Mets.
As the Mets had
You
a
dumb
chance.
bitches.
Why are they not pinch running for him?
Why did they not pinch run, and can't he just keep his hand down? Like, what are you doing? That was a relay cutoff throw from the outfield, and Pete Alonso was so slow. If you had a pinch runner in, you tie the game and you go to extras. Mets are stupid, dumb assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it brings a smile to my face.
And that's how the cookie crumbled.
Womp, womp.
So, another L for the Mets, as the Mets had a chance and got shut out and lost 1-0. But Mets are going to Mets.
Who was the Cubs catcher that said go out? He was going out to buy Shota Imanaga rookie cards as soon as he caught his bullpen session. That guy might have been onto something.
I know.
This guy is pretty awesome. Him and Yamamoto are on fire.
For sure. Ironically enough, SpongeBob was on yesterday. SpongeBob was on too, but Spider-Man.
Isn't SpongeBob on every day?
SpongeBob is on every day. I meant to say Spider-Man.
Yesterday
I just have SpongeBob on the
was
brain.
also the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
so you want to feel old.
Yeah, Spider-Man was on yesterday, and it was the scene of Tobey Maguire trying to propose to Mary Jane, aka Kirsten Dunst. And I was like, oh wow, I forgot how this movie's not that.
Do you know
great.
who Kirsten Dunst is married to?
Not this again.
It's another kind of, I don't want to say odd couple because he's a great actor. I forget his name. I think it's Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons.
I need to see
He's
what
a great
they look
actor
like together.
But from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, what
right.
A quirky. Oh, him. He was also in
He's a phenomenal actor.
Oh my, he was in something when he was younger. What movie was that?
He's in a lot of stuff.
He was the bully in Like Mike.
Yes.
Was he really?
Yes.
Yeah. That was his first
like
real role. He was the bad guy, or not the bad guy, but the bully kid in Like Mike.
He was in Friday Night Lights. Mm-hmm. He was the friend of
I saw that too.
The backup quarterback kid. He's been in Fargo. He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they seem like a nice couple.
He's married to Kirsten Dunst.
Interesting.
There you go.
Very interesting. And as we wrap up, just want to give a happy birthday
knowledge, Renee. I got a ton of it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I want to give a happy birthday to Sarah Langs. It is her birthday today. I know across Major League Baseball, I've been seeing a lot of people giving her plenty of love. Make sure you give her a nice happy birthday message. Give her some love on social media. It's beautiful to see all that she's continued to do and trailblaze in the baseball world and sports world. And finally, today's been another fun day of the challenge with our wheel, and Jamie and I technically tied. So yay, participation trophy. We just split the 4-game series. Yay, fun.
How does that feel?
Not as great.
Yeah.
It was really hard not to laugh though. So I'm glad that I can now laugh freely at the end of the show. My laugh box was breaking.
That doesn't count. The game's over. You said the game's over.
So the Phillies get a day off today before resuming play tomorrow versus the Giants, 4-game series. We will be back live tomorrow, 11 a.m. to preview the series and the weekend, and also start to look ahead at the pitching matchups and much more here on PHLY Phillies podcast. So for Tyler, Jamie, myself, Renee, first of all, let's go my fantasy team. Make sure you're giving some extra love and support for my team to beat Jamie's this week, because if we don't, you're all going to hear it, and I'm going to be very upset.
No, I don't bring it. You're the one that brings it up.
No, I know, but I'm even worse when I lose. So yeah, let's go La Flama
Blanca.
Boo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, K-Red, Slim, Ray, Lisa, John, Dave P, all of our friends in the chat. Hit that thumbs button on your way out the virtual doors, and we'll see you tomorrow for more here live 11 a.m. on PHLY Phillies podcast.